I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts to...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Bullshit, Mr. Handman.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring, the one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, that put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter rage!
All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Dust. Wind. Dude.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Marathon. All we are is vaped in space, dude. I am your host, Fractured Filter, and as with always, is my co-host here, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir?
Or I believe it was it Kansas Dust in the Wind.
Oh, yes.
Good. It's still hot out, man. So hot. It's like,
yeah,
and then combine that with watching Bad Batch or anything Disney, it just really makes it a fun time.
It's certainly been extra toasty for sure.
It's like, I can't wait for winter.
I have my air conditioner. Yeah, I know, right? So much easier to handle than extreme heat, because you can only do so much to get away from the heat.
I think it's better though that we're doing this. We're watching Bad Batch in the summer because it's so hard when it's hot outside. Well, that and it's so hard to fall asleep. But if we did this, in December, I'd fall asleep in the first probably 30 seconds of it.
See, I find it really easy to fall asleep in the heat. Like when it's too hot, like I fall asleep sometimes. Like at night. At night it's a little different, but usually during the day, like it's really easy. And I'll say I mean, we aren't getting to that spot yet, although I'm almost like maybe we should just get that out of the way immediately, right?
Pull the plug, rip the Band-Aid off.
Right. The Bad Batch episode I had started, and within the first couple of minutes, I just kind of was tapped out immediately.
Yeah.
I was just like, really? Are we doing...
Well, we want to do that? I mean, I'm all for getting it out of the way first and then enjoying, kind of doing a switcheroony. I don't know, man. It progressively gets, well.
I mean, I'm not necessarily against that either. I mean,
at least
a little
we can
change up,
end.
a little change up ain't bad, right?
We can end the show with something, positive that alleviates the want to just go
now
play in the highway.
Like the way we're at the end is when we start to do the reviews, so it almost feels like, do we break that tradition now?
That's true.
No.
Well, we're a man of tradition.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, that's what we talk about, right? Is maintaining the true.
We don't want to be
Wars
like
lore.
Disney. We don't want to break, consistency.
Break our consistency.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's true. Then we'll be viewed as hypocrites from the people on the left. And
I fully admit I am usually a hypocrite. I can be. I'll admit it right now. I have my moments. It happens. Okay, I'm only human.
Well, we all are. But
I'm
when it
also
comes
not trying to be held accountable for a whole franchise. So
I think outside Disney, of course, with Disney, well, outside Star Wars and Disney, 100%. But oh God, I'm just making excuses because I really like. This has been one of your best ideas ever to review this. Whatever you call it. People call it masterpiece. I call it just a piece.
Dog water.
That's fine. Well, it's like pick your poison because this shit, there's so much I have on my mind. It's like my blood pressure at the end of it's going to probably be 80/120.
Yeah, that was you. I saw a couple of the things that you had suddenly brought up, and I had seen it for sure float around. I was just kind of like, oh God.
Well, there's one thing I do want to, and it's probably older news, or I just had missed it. But there's
one thing that I definitely wanted to touch on really quick too. I'm trying to find at least some of the links that I have seen get posted for kind of like online shops. So let me just pop this up really quick because this was certainly what we've talked. Okay, so we've talked about this. We've talked about this in the past and the possibilities of it happening of Lucasfilm, Disney, whomever you want to point the finger at, or just a collective of Disney, Lucasfilm as a whole. That's how I usually go about it. I don't see them as separate entities. I see them as one conglomerate entity, and I don't think I'm
You're not. You're 100%. No, you're 100% on the mark. They're one and the same.
Yeah. So,
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Right. Exactly. So EU Commando brought this to the attention of the rest of us, saying, what the F? The Kenobi ebook updated, and the Incognito short story was removed and replaced with an excerpt from the High Republic. That's completely effed up. I guess the reason here is buy physical always. Delray Star Wars at Delray Star Wars, incredibly anti-consumer move. I agree. This has been something we've been talking about already, right? Is the possibility of them going back in through the old books and inserting their bullshit in some manner or another to continue to, push their canon, their lore and stuff like that. And how long will it take? Yes, it's because as he kind of points out too, is that this story was kind of already part of the book too, and it was included. Yeah. And let me bring this up too. I did a quick hunting for it. So, Incognito is a short story by John Jackson Miller, who wrote the Kenobi book, that appeared in Star Wars Insider 143. It featured Obi-Wan Kenobi and baby Luke Skywalker during their travel to Tatooine, tied into Miller's novel Kenobi, and was included in the paperback release of the novel. So
I wonder,
it's a story.
Is this in the hardcover too?
No, I mean, all it says is that it was included in the Star Wars Insider number 143 and in the paperback release. So, like the older paperback releases, probably even before they slapped the Legends label on there.
I gotta go to my desk because I bought the paperback and then I went to a local bookstore and I was able to find. I don't know if I
remember
told you about. I found
you telling me you found the hardcover.
Yeah, because it was after you called me a bastard for finding that Shadows of the Empire.
Yes, you schmuck.
Yeah, just PSA. It was I could feel his hate, and this actually don't let Fractured fool you. 100% called me a bastard. I had the text.
Oh, I did. I 100% did.
I think it was like
I won't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, shyster, bastard, and some other stuff. But I wonder if so I found the hardcover, and it was actually. I think the hardcover was pre-Legends. I don't think it has a Legends label, but I'm curious if this is in it. But I also pulled this up on my phone because I have. So I also, like most people probably already know by now, Fracture and I love to do audiobooks. I think it just brings an extra. You described it better than I do, but it's almost like a full-on production. But I wonder if mine updated because so sometimes I'll buy the digital book and then I'll buy the audio book and I'll follow along with both. But so the audio book looks like it updated, but I'm curious if iTunes forced an update with the digital book. I can only imagine that they probably did. I'm very curious because I saw his post.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to research it.
Like he points out, he says it was Incognito was part of it though. It was part of the story, and like it was this kind of. He says it's like that. And it's kind of the prelude, and even from it, the plot's it's basically it gets worked into then, Kenobi getting to Tatooine. So
this is very interesting. So on my end, so it hasn't updated, but for you to read it again, it forces you to update it.
Oh, okay.
We need to go back. I want to go back and through. I don't know how we would do it, but we talked about this. I had told you. Everybody I told, and said I was crazy, but they're probably telling me I'm crazy because most of them are Disney shills. But I had said this. I mean, do you remember me telling you that? It was at the time of theory. I was like, what if they re-release these books and change the wording to fit their narrative, or
right?
And essentially, and everybody thought, like I'm telling you, like people had literally called me crazy. But what happened? The reimagined covers came out, and then what happened? What happened after that? We see this
when we were going over the reimagined covers, those were some of the points we were making. Was that these are kind of the slow steps to making it an acceptable thing to alter iterations of these books.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't changed wording and stuff in the books themselves, but as we've just noticed, a whole side story was removed, which again seemed like a limited release. It wasn't put in the hardcover; it was put in the Insider magazine and the paperback. But I mean, what person wasn't getting if one version the other, especially with what it would include?
Here's an interesting point, though. So they're pumping in these stories from High Republic, and I guess I cannot, like, somebody could say, well, Jay Hitman, you can't say that because you've never read them, nor will I, thank you very much. But the point I'm trying to make is if they're pumping these into the books, and then they're forcing you, like, let's say you even don't buy the paperback, let's say you're just a digital person. If you buy the digital book, you can never read that book again until you update it. And what the update brings in this new story. So even if they aren't directly contradicting or retconning stuff, them putting in new stories, I think, unless I'm just missing the marker, could potentially retcon or change the story. Now, High Republic and Kenobi, they're not connected because High Republic takes place how many years before the Old Republic or whatever, but I still think that's what's going to happen. But Davi also brought up an interesting, and I have not been able to find where he got this or any type of contract, and I don't think you're ever going to. But he had mentioned that it legally, before George sold Lucasfilm to Disney, there was a contract that was written that said that they cannot retcon the original trilogy. Now, again, I don't know if this is a thing. This is what Davias was saying. He seems to be pretty knowledgeable with this kind of stuff. But if that's the case, how the hell has there not been a lawsuit brought to Disney for, like, Kenobi, for instance? Because anybody who is smart and has half a brain can see the retconning that has happened between Kenobi and A New Hope. Now, right. I guess they can say, well, it doesn't play. And it's so freaking irritating because they always say that. That's the, like, I don't even know how the hell they even know what implicitly means, because half these people are just, it's a kid's show. Just, okay. They're just idiots. So you have no right to even use the word implicit because you don't even know how to spell it.
I am implicit.
Like, and that's their whole defense.
What doesn't implicitly say, or does she didn't implicitly mean this, or she didn't say that? Like,
oh, right.
Read between, like, take A plus B. That does not equal fish. Maybe it does. I don't know. So I'm just very curious why a lawsuit hasn't been brought, like, to the table, if this is a thing, or if Disney, I mean, how dare I even say that they might have smart lawyers or lawyers that are decent. But I'm just curious. But I honestly
could be left up to Lucas if he's really willing to
fight it. Like, he's only got $4 billion.
Right.
You know.
He's living comfortably. I mean, he's kind of put out some statements out there anyways that he's kind of said, you know, his Star Wars is the six movies. Those are his. That's his story that he wanted to tell.
The expanded universe.
He didn't. I don't know if he quite included the EU necessarily.
Well, we know that he had a part in it, so therefore it's his.
Yeah. So it was certainly being made clear that, you know, boom, this is that was his story that he wanted to tell and stuff like that, and it's completely separate from what Disney Lucasfilm is doing with the story as is. So it just might. I mean, he's old. He doesn't want to also be tied up with legal fees and stuff like that too. He might just be like, you know,
listen, if I was a lawyer. If I would be the embodiment of pro bono, like if I caught wind that somebody, like, that they were, you know, in breach of contract, I would do it for free, 100%. Keep your money.
Busting out the kendo sticks and smacking the ever loving hell out of Disney.
Here would be the deal. Be like, George, I will represent you for free, but you need to buy back Lucasfilm from Disney.
Well, you know, the thing that I'd have to do...
He's 80, though.
With what Davioso was pointing out, is finding the excerpts from that whole transaction. If we even can see contracts out there, what was drawn up between...
Disney...
I don't know if it's made... I don't know how public a lot of that stuff was made.
No. This is what they've done. So anybody who is listening to us outside the United States... You know, Disney has now become like the FBI. Like, they have sealed that contract to where nobody can see it, and it's not even a contract anymore. They've probably, I don't know, they're shysters. But
well, that's just it too. It's Disney. It's like they've been able to skirt legal matters like nobody else's business between copyrights and whatnot. So.
I wonder if they're again, how dare I call Disney smart, but like I stand on the fact that I believe that this is where it's going. People can sit there and they can argue with me and they say you're stupid, it's not going to happen, they're never going to, you know, retcon their own stuff, they're never going to retcon the original trilogy, but like, yeah, right. Like, jokes on you obviously haven't watched any of the
you haven't been paying attention.
Do they start with the books? Do they start, or do they slowly do it with the shows? Like, what's the starting point? They're gonna do it, but they're.
It's been basically like a concerted effort of kind of attacking from all different angles. So it's basically like where do you look? You know, it's hard to keep. It's hard. They pump out so much media now,
dude. It's like Palpatine. Like, I can't turn Anakin on his own, so I need to go after his side piece and go after her and make him. You know, it's like you got to almost attack every single option that you can. I'm sorry, it wasn't her side. It wasn't a side piece. His wife, but you got to attack multiple different things for your plan to work. I don't know. I hope they don't, but again, like, I think they're going to.
Well, I mean, I can see them, yes, retconning or redoing the original trilogy at some point, and who knows, maybe they are contractually obligated to keep hands off for a time. It might be like it has to be within a certain amount of time before they even have the possibility to go in and start mucking about with the original trilogy and stuff like that. Who knows?
They're just gonna do it and have enough money to pay,
or they're just gonna do it and just kind of be, you know, zero F's given, middle fingers in the air, and just saying we're doing this and you can't stop us because we're freaking Disney people.
The other side of the argument would be like, well, why? Excuse me. Why would would it make more sense to do the books? Because a lot of the books are within the EU. Like, there are, like, you do have the book, you know, the New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. All those were. I have them over here. I'm trying to remember who the author was, but like, a lot of these books are EU. So like, is there any point? Because they don't care about the EU. They branded that, you know, they kicked that with the same group as Legends. But like, so where would you start if they did this? Would they do the shows like they did Kenobi? Would they just like oh no, like, you know, like, I don't even know how to describe it. But it's like they you know, produce a show and then contradict the original trilogy within that show, hoping or just thinking that nobody's going to catch it. Like, kind of like farting in a theater. Like, I didn't fart. That wasn't me. That wasn't a fart sound. Someone sneezed. You know, whatever it is. It's like and I don't go down a rabbit. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I think this is important to talk about because it's like, what would be the starting point? Would they do the books? Would they have the audacity to re-release all these, you know, do all these reimagined dog water covers that they're paying like 5 cents, you know, to have these probably 4-year-olds just paint on these books and then attack the books and I mean, but that's a lot of work, man. That's a lot of work to change. And the other question is, do they have rights for the expanded? Do they have rights for do they own everything? Do they own Legends? Do they own the expanded universe? Do they own everything that these the authors wrote? Like John Jackson Miller wrote that book. He was the author of it. But does Disney own it? They own the rights to Star Wars, but do they own the rights to these authors' work?
I mean, not
contractually.
That's the thing. It gets so
convoluted
and muddied with everything. Especially just, you know, our system in general is just so convoluted and weird. I wouldn't even know where who owns what, where it begins.
Do you personally think? Do you think that they own the rights to the books?
I think they do own all of the content out there, but that's also why they've also re-released things like the covers and stuff because then they slap on their own artwork. And it means it's just that little bit more under their own roof. Now they could maybe the authors do have some final say or something like that, or
you're gonna have these authors like.
And all it takes is them the pressure just a little bit, and not a lot of these guys are gonna. They're gonna be like
Timothy Zahn that bends the knee.
Bends the knee, yeah. They'll. I mean,
or even John Jackson Miller, who said that, like, oh yeah, the Kenobi
totally read. It can totally be connected to my book.
In what multiverse?
And the rest of us were going, "What the hell are you talking about?
What are you smoking?" Is what I asked.
Well, yeah, that in particular.
But you bring up a great point. Even if they don't
I'm
the
certain
authors.
there's like some degree that they own.
No.
And which is also why Disney scrapped the whole EU to turn it into Legends, and because they wanted to focus on their own content.
Yeah.
Thing was, though, their own content isn't quite selling like they had hoped it would be.
No.
So it's called, oh hey, we're gonna see look at our EU books. Look at your EU books are making a return. You can get the new physical versions with these shitty covers. Come on,
they're not even like I can deal with crappy. This is just like,
see, we acknowledge you guys a little bit. Come on, you know it's the minimalist of effort that they are throwing out there for this.
I think the issue, and again, I don't know the legality of it, or the contracts, whatnot. But if the authors own, if it's their story, like there's no amount of money that they're going to turn down. Like, and there's proof because it's really like it's kid show. It's kid show. It really ticks me off because Timothy Zahn is a great author, man. Like he has he's got about 3 that are I think before he bent the knee, there's a lot amazing books that he wrote, but then he's just a perfect example of like bending the knee, right, to Disney, and how much money he got paid for the 3 additional Thrawn books at 4 I don't even know how many there are. There's like at least 4 new ones that are under the mouse, and then like we said, John Jackson Miller's like, oh yeah, totally, like how much money, like how much they pay you to say that, and do you really believe that?
Yeah, how much are you? How truthful are you being with it?
It's gonna be a sad day when James Luceno, who wrote in my opinion, one of the greatest. I'd have to put it. We should do that next in a upcoming. Oh, I can't talk. Upcoming show and radar books, but like Plagueis, man, one of my favorite books. Like if the day comes where he bends the knee, like I'm tapping out. I'm gone. Bye.
I mean, yeah, I can't say I've heard anything on that front, so
So I'm just curious if it's going to happen. But again, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to insert, and you got it. Like, I think a lot of this might be a generalization. I think those of us that read the books pay attention to detail, right? It's like washing your car, waxing your car, right? Every square inch of that car, and if you happen to see bird crap or a ding or whatever it is, like notice it, right? So it's the same thing with the book. Like you read you read like the Kenobi book, and then you watch the show, and you're like, whoa, like come on now, what is this? Like, and where did you get this from, right? So then altering the slightest of details, I'd like to think that most people would catch it and be like, what happened to my book?
Right.
Like, what's the difference between this book and the book I bought in, 98 or whatever it was, just irritating. So
no, I agree. It'll be interesting to see what comes of all this. And this is then, kind of the next big, the whole kind of point on it is, for anybody out there that's listening, go buy books physically. And,
now.
And don't
stay away from reimagined covers.
Avoid reimagined covers. Avoid giving the mouse money at all costs. If you're brave, go onto eBay. And then, of course, most importantly, check out your local used bookstores and stuff like that. Find the physical copies and go that route because it'll only exist for so long before they completely bastardize these old stories that were already told fantastically until they decide, what, we need some references to our High Republic. We need references to the Kenobi show. We need references to Book of Boba Fett. The list goes on, right? So,
and if you don't want to spend a bunch of money at your local bookstore, just go to the library. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't condone stealing. But if it's a hardcover and it's in good condition, then you better swipe that thing. Swipe or no swiping. Or swipe that thing.
Jump on it while you can, because this is gonna be kind of the. I think this is kind of another thing that gets to it, because pretty soon we might be having Star Wars might be having some of its own multiversal problems.
Oh my dear. Is this the next one we're bringing up?
Ahsoka Star reveals plot details, hints towards Star Wars multiverse. How much truth this will be, I don't know. Because, like we say all the time, the one thing they are consistent at is being inconsistent with their story. And what better than to give themselves so many extra plot lines, or just kind of their own attempts of getting out of bad situations with a multiverse, where then they can try and attempt and pull characters from the EU to make either just hilariously bad, stupid stories, or more just rage-inducing, cringeworthy bullshit of injecting characters we know, we love, and everything into their storylines, only to further degrade those characters that have already been belittled in every way in the current timeline, but now they have other versions of them to do that to kill them, to do whatever to them that they can find possible to. It goes on. So,
is this article saying, because I read it a little bit before the show, but so is this legit, they're doing a multiverse, Ahsoka is the beginning of
I think it's a kind of either she's
Marvel.
teasing stuff or something, I don't know, but so for this article, on September 21st, the fourth live action Star Wars show will debut on Disney Plus. However, while Andor certainly looks promising, it's fair to say that the most highly anticipated entry in the Mandoverse. Where did this come from?
I believe Mando. Honestly, the first time I heard Mandoverse,
this is the first I'm hearing Mandoverse.
Filoni. I heard it. There's a quote that Filoni had said it. I believe,
that
and
right?
it was. That's where I heard it. And I'm gonna try to find the. You continue. I'm gonna try to find it, but that's the first time I'd heard it.
Yeah,
it was Mandoverse.
So Mandoverse is Ahsoka, which comes out in 2023. The show will see the return of Rosario Dawson as the titular Togruta Jedi, who made her first appearance in The Mandalorian Season 2, having previously only ever appeared in the animated shows Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. Since her live-action debut, Ahsoka Tano has also enjoyed a brief role in the Book of Boba Fett, alongside Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, which more was a digitized.
Yeah,
Skywalker.
I read that. I was like, you spelled Mark Hamill wrong.
And later this year, her Clone Wars counterpart is set to return in the miniseries Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. Oh, God. I believe we covered that one before, too. Ahsoka has long been rumored to serve as a sequel to Rebels. Why? That show wasn't that good either. Speculation grew after the casting of Natasha Liu Bordizzo, I probably butchered that, but whatever, as Mandalorian Sabine Wren, and Rosario Dawson being joined on stage by astromech droid Chopper during this year's Star Wars celebration. And I remember, I was like, they could have just casted the voice actors for a lot of these roles, because when I saw them, I'm like, they fit. Why not just do that? But that would make sense. That would make sense. And especially since these are going to be basically aged up versions of them anyways, because they did a time skip for the ending of Rebels anyways. They did a little time skip kind of wrap it up ending. And then, of course, there's Ahsoka's appearance in The Mandalorian, during which she reveals that she's in pursuit of fan-favorite rebels. This is not Grand Admiral Thrawn. Because freaking Scooby and the gang could defeat this Thrawn. He is not. This is not proper Thrawn.
Pound sign, not my Thrawn.
This Thrawn got beat by space whales and Space Aladdin.
Space whales mixed with octopuses.
And now Rosario Dawson has confirmed that this will indeed be the case in the new series. Appearing at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo via Laughing Place, Dawson confirmed that Thrawn will be the main focus of in the upcoming Disney Plus series, as long suspected by Star Wars fans. When asked about Thrawn's whereabouts, here's what Dawson said: "That dude Thrawn, man, incognito. Maybe we get the Scarlet Witch to help us. She can jump through multiverses, right? Let's go." Oh, god damn, this is hard to read. Yeah, I mean, that's a really big key kind of giveaway in Mando about what my show could potentially be about. Obviously, we are really trying to track Thrawn down, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I hate online articles sometimes because they are just kind of 80 as hell with this sort of stuff. Because so she's just kind of talking what ifs tier nonsense, which at the same time wouldn't surprise me with what they probably have planned.
I think it's safe to assume or infer from this article that it's going to happen. Because any rumor, well, I'm not going to say any rumor, but most rumors that we have heard from Disney have become a reality.
Yeah.
Like Kenobi. We're thinking about doing a Kenobi series. And then you do one, and it's just the worst.
Yeah, so, Thrawn was last seen in the season 4 and series finale of Rebels, in which young Jedi Ezra Bridger, Taylor Gray, calls upon the help of the Purrgil space whales, incredibly powerful whale-like creatures that use hyperspace to travel among the stars to save his friends from Imperial forces. Thrawn, played by Lars Mikkelsen, becomes wrangled in their tentacles, and when the Purrgil jump into hyperspace, both he and Ezra disappear with them. An epilogue reveals that Ahsoka Tano, Ashley Eckstein, and Sabine Wren, Tia Sarkar, plan to team up to find their lost friend. While plot details are naturally being kept under wraps, it's safe to say that this will be the main focus in Ahsoka. However, Star Wars fans continue to speculate that the show will also feature the World Between Worlds. This thing was the big opener of bullshit, because it's effectively time travel, too. And also, yes, potentially, I guess, maybe some multiversal tiered stuff. And I remember my brother and I talking about this, and he even said when a franchise so far down the line suddenly brings up time travel, it shows that they've really run. It's effed. They're grabbing it. They need anything to help with their with the corners they've written themselves into. So hey, let's bring in time travel, because that's always neat. That's sci-fi, right? We can get away with that sort of BS, right?
So wait, is Doctor Strange now in this universe?
We'll give it time. Pretty soon it'll be Star Wars, Marvel. It'll be like Fortnite, where you got all these characters from all these different things all combined into it. Give it time. So yeah, the World Between Worlds is mystical dimension where time and space do not exist. In the episode of the same name, Ezra and Ahsoka learn that the realm, which is seemingly only available to the most powerful Force users, is a place. Yeah, and you got the Chiefmeister there. Is a place from which one can change the past. Dawson's comments about Ahsoka needing the help of Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda, Scarlet Witch from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as she is able to jump through multiverses, is seemingly a joke. Although, who wouldn't want? I don't. No thanks. Not from how horrible a character I heard hers is. I wouldn't want Scarlet Witch anywhere near this, but they'll do whatever they can to get eyes on them. But Dawson could actually be hinting towards something legitimate. The idea of a Star Wars multiverse has been very appealing ever since the vastly disappointing sequel trilogy. And so this is yeah, with fans still hoping those films will be wiped from canon. Not gonna happen. And if it does happen, I'll be happy to be wrong. I'll admit I was wrong. I don't foresee that ever being the case, though.
Yeah.
They won't admit to being wrong.
Never.
They will maybe.
That's why they bring in time travel.
Yeah, that's why they bring in time travel, and they'll maybe try to explain around their little stupid stuff. That'll be it. If the world between worlds is used in Ahsoka, though, it could be very least explain her whereabouts during all three.
I cannot.
So again, like I was just saying, there are ways of getting themselves out of corners that they've written themselves into.
Yeah.
But either way, it looks like we'll be learning more about her character in this year's Tales of the Jedi first. And speaking of canon, Ahsoka author E.K. Johnston recently took to Twitter to hit back at fans who are suggesting that the upcoming animated series will retcon elements of her book, which was approved by Ahsoka Tano creator Dave Filoni. Doesn't mean a whole lot, anyways. While it seems that the whereabouts of Thrawn and Ezra will play a significant role in Ahsoka, it remains to be seen whether the two characters will actually make their live action debut in the show, or if they'll simply remain elusive, driving the plot from a great distance. I could see them teasing it throughout the first season, and then the first season finale would probably reintroduce Thrawn. That would be like their end of season 1 finale, teaser, or I feel like there's another word for it, but I'm just not thinking of it right now. But certainly
I'm thinking a lot of words.
Yeah, but certainly that would be like their kind of hook out there to try and draw people in to see the second season. Like it's like the ship suddenly pops back in. They found a waypoint where maybe the ship is going to be dropping out of hyperspace. They somehow found some coordinates, and boom, Thrawn's ship appears. Maybe with the space whale still attached. Who knows?
Stop it.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm probably wrong, but
destroying everything that is good and glorious about Heir to the Empire, Dark Wars Rises. I can't do it.
I don't mean to bring you such pain, but
yeah.
So while Lucy driving the plot, it has been long rumored that Lars Mikkelsen, brother of Mads Mikkelsen, will reprise his role as Grand Admiral Thrawn, having voiced him in Rebels. Meanwhile, fans continue to call for Aladdin 2019 actor Mina Massoud to play Ezra Bridger in the upcoming show. Again, use the voice actor, for God's sakes. So it's also unknown as to whether or not Ahsoka will feature flashbacks like Obi-Wan Kenobi, as Hayden Christensen will be reprising his role as Anakin / Darth Vader, Ahsoka's former Jedi Master. Should this be the case, we may see a younger actress play Ahsoka. Ahsoka is now filming premiere, blah, 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 blah. So, I hope they do better de-aging on him than they did in the Kenobi show. God damn.
It's the worst. It
wasn't even much. It still looked like
I think they just literally said that they just put that in there just to make people think that they at least tried. But no, it was literally
seriously, guys, we totally did.
Yeah, this is literally he woke up on a Tuesday 20 years after Attack of the Clones to do this.
Basically.
Everything about this is not right. Everything about this, it's unethical, it's immoral, it's stupid. Don't touch it. Just leave Thrawn alone.
Great.
And leave your stupid and this makes totally, this makes sense why we have an octopus and a whale looking that had a baby, and because Filoni and Salt Lake. That's all I'm gonna say. Filoni, Salt Lake. That's all I'm gonna say. You do the math. And why has he not? No, I'm not gonna say that. That's gonna get me in trouble. I'm not gonna say it. Why? I really want to. I'm not going to. Kid show. He loves Ahsoka.
Say it, but
Kid show. Do the math. He loves Ahsoka, so do the math. Why cast somebody? Never mind. Stop me. Tell me to get back in my cage.
Get back in your cage. God, all I can foresee is as much pain.
But you know that this is going to be a thing. You know that, like, this has to be a thing, because if she signed an NDA, like, these guys don't even get, like, they don't give you anything. They give you no milk bone, no nothing. Like when they're in interviews. So for her to write this article, like, it cannot be outside the realm of possibilities. I don't think, or maybe it's not. I don't know. But then I guess the other side of it is, if she signed an NDA, then like what she just said can't be true. Then, because if it was true, she'd be in violation of the NDA. But
from what I mean, maybe there's a grain of truth with everything, right? Sometimes jokes, there's truth behind it. I just, like I say, I'll just keep saying, I hope not. Let's hope not.
I think that it is, though. I think that part of this is true. She's given I think she's given like bits and pieces of what could be, without saying like this is what we're doing, not to be in violation of, I don't know, NDA. Maybe this is what she wants. I don't know. I think it's gonna happen. It has to happen. They've ruined every single character so far. Like, why not go after Thrawn? Why not go after Thrawn? Why not go after?
Well, they already did the Rebels show, so. Yeah. So
do you put much stock in this article? Do you think it's going to be a thing? You can't come up. Here's the thing.
Well, I certainly when they introduced the whole world between worlds, I definitely thought that there was going to be a lot of goofy shit that would be coming along with this. Now, we haven't necessarily seen it in a while. Really, it's only been since Rebels that it's popped in. But they might be just waiting for the right thing to implement it. Well, air quotes, right thing. And I don't know if maybe Filoni has like specific, since he was the one behind Rebels, if he was the one that, has a say on it. I don't know.
Well, of course, because he created Rebels and he created Ahsoka. So of course he does. He has to.
So, like I say, it might be just a whole matter of waiting for the opportunity, and maybe with the Ahsoka show, it's going to get brought back into play.
I feel bad. I missed Welcome Sentinel. I just
wanted to get through that article.
Oh
first. As we were going through the article, he certainly had his very accurate.
Yeah, it's literally how I feel. I was gonna say this though, like, and I can't believe I'm saying this, and I really shouldn't say this, but it's like it's not like they can screw up anymore, with and I said I haven't seen Rebels, but I don't have to watch Rebels because I know that Thrawn got killed by an octopus that had sex with a whale, and the child is what killed Thrawn on the bridge of the Chimera. Like, that's literally, like, and that's what I'm going to say. Like, if people say, like, oh, yeah, what's Rebels about? How'd you like it? I'm like, whale had sex with the octopus, killed Thrawn on his bridge. Don't ask me how the whale and octopus survived out of water in deep space. Don't know.
No, just ask you, what the hell version did you watch?
Yeah. Like, literally, I mean, that's literally it, like, in a nutshell. Like, but, like, I don't, like, yeah. But again, I think we said, like, oh, yeah, Kenobi can't. When we were talking about Kenobi, I was like, there's no way that they can. Like, I didn't think then what I thought now. Like, I didn't think it was that possible to screw up Kenobi. And then they passed with flying colors. So,
It was to infinity and beyond.
I think this is where if this happens, if they create this show and they do like the Marvel multiverse, I don't know if there's enough bandwidth on the computer to do a review on it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It'll be something for sure.
Do you think Filoni like smokes mushrooms? Do you think he like drinks acid?
He you know, I wonder that myself sometimes. Like if he is like a
just
if he's maybe
frolicking
the Rogan,
with the animals in the wilderness, and
he does like a lot of DMT or whatever. Goes on those psychedelic trips. I don't know.
Do you think he's like he frolics with the animals?
I would think he'd have
just eats mushrooms.
I think he'd have a lot more interesting ideas if he did.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I want to be a fly on the wall of like George's house and just listen to like what comments like he makes when he like, because unless he's like totally like, unless he doesn't do anything social media or he has the agreement with his family and friends not to talk source around him, like I just wonder like what would he say? Like, I trained this guy has been with me. This guy has been with me, not as long as Kennedy, but like has definitely been with me. He's learned from me, and then to see what he's done, it's almost like
it's like a full-on slap in the face.
Well, I can't fathom like what he's like. Who like? I don't even know. Like. I'd love to.
Like the Sentinel said, you couldn't pay me to watch Rebels. Total garbage. I just see random clips about it. Had no idea they effed over Thrawn until afterward. Initially people were like, "Cool, more EU characters than Disney canon."
Why? But like, why are these writers not coming to like the defense of like Zahn? Why is he not coming to the forefront? And we know, obviously, because he's sold out. But like, even if he didn't sell, like, where would he? Like, where are they? Why are you not standing up and like saying like, no, this is not right. This is contradictory to what I wrote in the character. So like, it's just like
I mean, if anything, it's probably like what a lot of them are afraid of: social media kickback. Then it's also
they have no spine, is what you just said. Then
effectively,
right?
Yes.
They have no spine.
Yes, because they don't want the people with the torches and pitchforks to come after them, even though it's usually just a minority of idiots that do any of this crap.
So unless you're like Hamill and been around for 100 years, like effectively, like that's the only person that people are.
Or if you're just someone that just doesn't
to.
give a hell about it. If you're just the thing is like if you actually show you've got the backbone, then you'll also at least have. If you don't bend that knee, people will also back you up in tenfold. Then the screeching morons that come after you. But I won't lie, those screeching morons can do a lot of damage. They are vicious little creatures that will go after every source of revenue and stuff like that you have.
Do you think this is a question that I've been meaning to ask, and I should already know the answer to it, but I want to get your thoughts on it. Do you think Del Rey Books is sold out to the mouse?
Probably to keep partnerships and
Do you think they have though?
I mean, if they're still producing like the audiobooks and stuff like
that. Well, like
I
don't know. Like I'm just wondering. Like I knew. Well, there's the Beaver lady that came. The Skywalker family book that came out. I don't know if Del Rey produced that book, but then there was I saw it the other day. It's like a Brothers in the Force. That's not the name of it, but it's like Obi-Wan and Anakin. It's a new book that just came out, or newer book that just came out. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but I just wonder, like, have they sold out? And if they have, then I guess, maybe partially like you're maybe you're right, like the cancel culture, but still like cancel culture. You just gonna sell out? Like you just show your belly because like.
I guess like it is not a lot of people have the backbone to want to
go to yeah.
And I mean you know, being on social media can be rather freaking tiresome, but at the same time, I mean, you don't even have to pay attention to these idiots.
Both sides, I think, can
all you have to do
be
is
dangerous, though.
All you have to do is kind of post and move on. You don't even really have to. You don't have to respond unless it's like people you particularly know. Then you can just respond to those people if you want. You don't have to engage everyone. You can be very selective about who you choose to interact with. So, I mean,
it comes down to who's got the bigger stick. You know, Disney or the people that have, you know, who wrote these books and, you know, progressed the story of these beloved characters. Like, who holds the bigger stick? Disney obviously has more money, but does that necessarily mean they've got the bigger stick?
Well, they have the legion of morons that dick ride them the big corporation so freaking hard. It's like, you know, whenever somebody tries to say boo against them, I mean, Jesus, look at what was going on with the Kenobi show. If you said anything negative about the show, suddenly you had a bunch of people coming out of nowhere dropping into your comments.
Oh yeah,
you don't follow or don't even follow you. It's like, where the hell did these people?
It was like it was so stupid. It's like, man, this show's just dog water. How dare you be a racist against Reva? You don't even know what she.
I didn't even say anything about that. It's like we didn't even have to say anything about that character. Well, it's like, where did this come from?
Well, but that's the point I'm trying to make. You say, oh, this show's just terrible. It's like, how dare you be a racist against Reva? You know, she's Ingrid Moses. How dare you be a racist against her? And blah blah blah. And it's like, I said nothing about, you know, that's how stupid it is. It's how it's like your boss coming to you and saying, hey man, I really appreciate your hard work. You're one of the hardest workers in here. You're always early for your shift, and you're the last one to leave. We have a little bit of a gap here, but man, like I really appreciate everything you're doing. You go home and like I need off myself. My boss said he hated me. He thinks I'm a terrible person, and I'm just a POS, right? So it's like, how did you get
there?
Yeah, it's like, is there a magical fairy bridge that you just crossed? Ugh. I can't. I'm not even that old in my body. I just feel like I'm 100 years old watching all this stuff.
It sometimes feels that way, right? God.
Well, there's another one I wanted to bring up, but
fire away, sir.
I'm gonna mess up the share screen, so maybe you should do it, but I'll try it here. I got it in the Discord. What?
Hey, go for it.
Where was it? Oh, I should probably go to. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if it'll work.
Trying to figure it out.
No, yeah. Remind me, is it window or entire screen?
You can do I usually do it by the tab, but you can do the window. I do like it has like Chrome tab or whatever.
Oh, nice. Okay, here. Let's see.
And you can select it that way.
Is that good? Can you see it?
Yeah, you sharing our Discord.
Just I want to share this tweet here. I don't know if it'll work. Tell me if you can see it. Can you see it?
No. Hey, stop sharing this screen now that you've opened up the Twitter.
Okay. And go back to share screen.
Now go to share screen and now click the tab that was the Twitter thing that you opened up.
Well, why? Well, hell's bells. Can I just do the Discord or no? No, I don't want to do Discord. You do it. No, here, I'll try this. Let me do this one. We'll do.
There we
Is
go.
it on there? Okay.
It's on there.
So I saw this, and I literally wanted to jump off the roof of my house. So Darth Bane is Choose Your Destiny variant by Chris Sprouse, Carl Story, and Rochelle Rosenberg for Star Wars Darth Vader Volume 3, 27.
What is this for?
Apparently, if I read it right, yes, it's a issue number 24 variant edition. So it's from what I understand, this is a
cover variant.
Cover variant. So it says like a cover B variant, or it's cover B would technically be the variant. So cover A is like the main cover, and then like cover B is technically the variant. But this is, from what I gather, is Darth Bane.
Yeah, that's Darth Bane. How he showed up in the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
which is basically they just made him look like Shredder. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
with a mixture of
the lightsaber
of Vader. I mean, I can't.
I saw this pop up, and I'm just like, you've got to be. I mean, it's not surprising because this is their version of Bane.
It's literally
which is
Shredder,
antithetical to Bane to begin with. It's like, oh my god, you guys couldn't even do something as simple as.
Was this the character, like this right here? This is what showed up in the Clone Wars episode where what was it, Yoda's on?
He goes to what was renamed Moraban, instead of Korriban. Yoda is trying to, I forget the exact. He's doing like his own kind of detective work. I'm gonna say Korriban. F it.
Yeah.
Goes to Korriban. And he goes to through some of the Sith temples, and of course, like it is even in EU lore and stuff, the Sith tend to some of them will kind of linger around if they were, they're feeling feisty enough as undead spirits. But he encounters this Bane, and it's been chalked up to it was originally chalked up to it was just an illusion being projected by Sidious potentially from wherever he was, but now we effectively have it as it's been canonized. We have that look as for their version of Darth Bane.
But like, how do you go from that to? So you go. I mean, obviously
that's
this
proper Bane.
Proper Bane, obviously proper Bane. Shredder
Bane.
Bane, like. I just don't like this is a really good one. I've seen this one before. But what? I guess it's hard because the only thing that we have to base Bane off of is obviously how you read the book and then like the cover, right? But like that for me,
but no, they gave a look, they gave a description of how Bane looked. And then they described when he got the Orbalisk armor, and then after he was out of the Orbalisk armor, so they gave him he had a defined look, and that was also represented via the artwork there that you just showed off.
This is like the main thing that has just irritated me. It's like seeing this today, and I think you said you saw this. I don't know, did you see this a couple of days ago? Am I probably late? The
Bane thing?
Yeah.
It was like a day. It was like either yesterday, maybe yesterday or a day ago, or the other day. I don't know. But that cropped up, and I'm just like
irritating. It's like people are like you're so petty. Why are you being so petty? It's just a variant. It's like yeah, I get it. It's a variant, and you can think it's petty, but it's like it's just so stupid. Like, and again, like. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody's a critic, but it's like, why? Like, I don't understand it. Like, I didn't watch that full episode of the Clone Wars, but I remember seeing, I think, bits and pieces of it. That was a stupid episode. It was a stupid Bane. It's not the Bane that It's not the proper Bane.
That was done in the books. Yeah.
I don't I didn't think Bane was a samurai. I thought Bane, he just irritated me. He just irritates me and the fact that they're probably going to make money off of this. They'll probably make money off this variant. But I think this is where you tell me
it's just for the fact it's a variant. It'll make some money because depending on what the original looks like, the people go.
Well, I'm not even gonna search. I gotta clear my search history because I don't want it to be tainted with this Disney variant. But I'm not a Marvel guy. I don't read Marvel comics. We'll never read, obviously, Marvel comics, but if you had thrown, the original, like an original proper Bane on it, I might flip through it. Not really, but
well, and you know what's really silly about that too, with that look for Bane was that went through, which I do believe came later, but in another episode, it was the Mortis arc, where they were on that weird planet and the brother and sister of the Force and stuff like that. They were gonna have a scene that included not only Darth Bane, but also Darth Revan.
Really?
Yes. But the funny thing was that the Darth Bane that they were showing in that looked like it was him in his Orbalisk armor. And hang on, I'm actually as I'm saying this, I'm trying to look it up and see. And from what I heard, and thank God if it's true, because I heard it was Lucas that shot it down. Said no, don't include this, because I'm certainly glad, because it kept Revan and Bane out of the canon, especially out of Filoni's hands. So here's the I believe this is it. Basically, right?
This was in the Clone Wars.
This is from the Clone Wars, but they didn't finish the scene. It was still kind of like pre-rendered kind of stuff, so they didn't get around to completing it. So it'll look maybe a little dodgy.
I don't remember this. I mean, it was this season. Sure. I forget what season it was.
Then why do I feel such pain? Because you have not embraced your resentment.
Who are you? You must answer me this time.
We are those who have come before. Those who were betrayed. Those who hate. We are the wielders of the dark.
So there you can see Bane. You can see the Orbalisk helmet.
Oh, I didn't see. Okay, yeah.
Now over here is Revan. Yep. See there. Basically how, and I don't understand how they go from potentially including this version of Bane, the proper look for him, and yet then they didn't when it came to including him in that Force vision. That's where people were like, "Oh, it's just basically like Sidious's interpretation of how Bane might have looked, because he was projecting this Force illusion at Yoda to him." So, that comic cover now basically helps confirm that no, that's the look that they have for Darth Bane. So, hey, they're gonna save Star Wars, right? But like I said, I'm glad it didn't get included. I'm glad it was scrapped. Thank God.
Yeah, I just. Gosh,
but then
pisses me off.
Now you got this goofy looking Bane out there.
But like, where do you even? Like, how do you even come up with it? Like, I don't understand, and I probably will never understand, and it's probably pointless to even talk about. And people are like, well, you're stupid. Like, I don't know why you're so like up in arms about it. It's like, because it does not look like Bane. It doesn't.
It doesn't look like Bane, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't share the same philosophy as Bane.
No. No, change your avatar back to Bane, for crying out loud. No, it doesn't look like Bane. You have 3 freaking books that I think every single cover, for the most part, has freaking Bane on it. And not a single one of these covers have him wearing samurai armor. Or looking like Shredder in a freaking sewer. Like, in the lightsaber, that is not his lightsaber. That is not his lightsaber. Like, well, you don't have any proof of what his lightsaber looks like.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, hang on.
Hanging on.
You got it right here, Mama Jammas.
Ah, yes. See?
And look, just that too. Look in comparison to this, which yes, this was pretty much how I believe his lightsaber was described in the book.
In book, yeah, by who did he get it from? He got it from the Twi'lek.
Yeah.
God, what was his name?
That was originally his master's lightsaber.
Yes, that he was given while he was still in the academy.
And then compare it to that lightsaber that they just showed, which looked just.
You pull it up. I'll let you pull it up.
Plain as hell. Hang on. Yeah, let me get it really quick. Compared to then this.
Yeah.
Which is again like very uninspired.
It's very bland.
It's basically kind of looking.
What does it even look like?
Some of that. It's got some of that look of Luke or Obi-Wan's saber with the emitter up here at the top.
Yeah.
Then the handle itself
is just
kind of a Anakin's or more or kind of more of like Plo Koon maybe, or Qui-Gon's, where it's just this, just kind of a very straight looking hilt or handle. I mean, just this compared to this.
Oh well, we can't put that in the comic, but we can't fit that on there.
Versus this, which would you prefer?
But even so the lightsaber, but did I miss something in the book? Like, did he have a relationship with the Ninja Turtles? Like, did he have, like, was Shredder his mentor? Did I miss this? Did IDW do it?
It was after book 1. It was in between when he was training Zana and he ran into the Ninja Turtles. And
did, like, IDW do a freaking... Did they do a comic run, a story arc with Bane and the Ninja Turtles and Shredder giving him his armor? Was Shredder his mentor in the academy? Did I miss that story? Like... I need to email IDW and
in truth, it was Shredder of the Foot Clan that taught Bane about secrecy and staying out of the sights of the Jedi.
But even what to your point,
go ninja, go.
But even to what you just said, like that clip, that rendered clip, of, like what he's saying. I mean, that's not like. Would Bane ever say that? Am I wrong? Am I crazy here?
Depending on that, I mean, that particular Darksider, he would probably mock. Because it was hilarious too. Because in the
I mean, this is the same Bane that said like.
I think it was Star Wars Legends where it was the whole Darth Krayt, and Krayt is using the holocrons to meet with the old Sith. There's Nicolas and a few others, and of course there's I believe, I don't know if Revan was one of them. No, couldn't be, because Bane destroyed the holocron. But Bane was one of them, and he calls even Darth Krayt a pretender, and somebody that is unable to follow the true rule of two and stuff like that. He just goes to town on him, and it's freaking hilarious.
I mean, this is the same Bane that
so,
freaking told the 10-year-old that basically, if you don't keep up with me, like, I'm gonna leave you
behind,
so you can die. Like,
yeah. So
proper Bane.
So Darth Krayt is saying, Lord and Dedu, Nihilus, and Bane, answer me, teach me, such is my will. so from Bane, so the would-be Sith returns.
Right.
My knowledge is not for you. You are not a Sith. You're not a Sith pretender, nor are your rabble. This was my lesson. 2 Siths should there be, no more. One holding power, one desiring it. You defy my teachings.
like I just peed my pants a little bit.
Right? It's like Krayt's like, I have improved on it. Instead of 2, there is now only 1. The Sith Order itself. I have recreated the Sith Lord Bane, as you once did. I have given it purpose. For what use is power without one? And Bane just replies, power is its own purpose. To share it is to dilute it. You deluded yourself, pretender. Your order will yet turn on itself and you. And then it's just like, the heretic comes for the same reason they came last time. Its body is failing. It fears that which it consuming it. So yeah, I just thought,
Yeah, I mean that's perfect. I mean that's the Bane that I think we know and love. That's the Bane where that's the whole reason why he went after the Brotherhood of Darkness, because he's like you're deluding the Force. There's hundreds of you, right? And it still gives me chills to this day to think about the thought bomb. And for those of you who have not heard of the thought bomb or seen the thought bomb, I encourage you to read the book, and you can even find YouTube videos on it. It's very, very chilling and very just how he does it. It's glorious. And what's so funny about it is Fracture told me about it prior to me reading the book. He tried to describe it, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. That makes no sense. And then as I read through the books, it has. It's like fine wine. Like you can't say, oh, this Chardonnay is delightful until But yeah, just reading it.
And then what was even greater was that this event was connected to Dark Forces Jedi Knight with Kyle Katarn.
Right.
It got connected. That was how you knew this. Yes, they kept continuity, where it was precisely needed to be, and we got the execution of who and what was part of this thought bomb.
Yeah.
How it got started. Yes, we knew like there was the tortured Jedi, but we didn't know that there was dark Jedi included. I don't consider them Sith. The Brotherhood was nothing but dark Jedi at best.
Right. No, they're not. They're not Sith. They're just
So, I mean that was the brilliance of all of that, and it's what made it so fantastic.
I mean, never again be able to experience such as that as the thought bomb. And to go back and visit them, and it's just so good. Go read the book. You're not going to be disappointed. And if you are, then you're not a true Star Wars fan.
Agreed.
Well, that's what I want to talk about. So it could be silly, but it just really just irritated me because it was like, God, so stupid.
No, I agree with you. So, let's some self-flagellation from old Dave Filoni, because we were on the subject of that version of Bane. Here we go into this. So, over here on Bounding into Comics, Rosario Dawson touts upcoming Ahsoka series, says Dave Filoni described it as a religious experience. Could you be more up your own ass?
He's just I'm really concerned for his well-being, honestly.
Well, he's you know, this is the blame of social media, right? It's like it gives them this weird self-importance and stuff like that, especially when I'm sure he sees, you know, Dave Filoni is saving Star Wars. It gives him that little rush, you know. So again, from the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, while answering questions from the audience, Dawson detailed, "I will say this, I will probably get into trouble for saying this, but Dave Filoni saw one of the episodes already edited together, and he walked up, him and Carrie Beck, both like glossy-eyed." She continued, and he said to me that it was a religious experience.
I was gonna say, is that the side effect of like mushrooms?
Well, I don't know, maybe, but it's just being like, you know, it's maybe like.
Can you be more pious?
Yeah, I mean, you put it on such a level of a religious experience. It's one thing to be like, you know what, I'm really proud of this work. I think it's going to entertain people and everything like that. It's one thing to kind of take that approach, but to say that he was claiming it was a religious experience really sets it on a whole other level.
I think he's mental, honestly. He got to be.
Well, you gotta be like, in Hollywood, you know. You gotta be.
Well, and then just to come up, I don't know.
So not only did Dawson, oh, absolutely. So not only did Dawson claim Filoni described the show as a religious experience, but she also hinted that the series will indeed follow up on Grand Am. Okay, so this is kind of what we already talked about earlier. That last article we read. So if you recall in the episode, Din Djarin teams up with Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, so that's already kind of. So this is already touching on some of that stuff we already talked about. Grand Admiral Thrawn. I'd kind of already just breezed this article just because I really wanted that freaking bit about his religious experience.
But how and why? How do you?
Well, and it was one of the comments already in here in this article, and let me see if it's still here up at the top. Yeah, so from NK1701 on here saying, okay, I celebrate when creators make good things that honor the source material, but can we stop acting like everything they make that is good is the second coming? I hope this is good, but why do these people, even those doing good work, have to act like this? And then a guest post was saying, narcissism, egotism, stupidism. It's our fault, really. We feed them monsters every time we pay for their artistry. Artistry in air quotes. And that was certainly the follow-up I wanted to go with that, because it's like I said, it's one thing, and like the person said, it's one thing to kind of like be proud of your own work and really looking forward to other people getting experience at other work. Okay, but again, putting it at such a high level, like they said, acting like it's some second coming of Christ. No, that's you're separating it entirely from an artistry perspective to your ego has gotten way too inflated for its own good.
His ego is
Go ahead, say it.
Say
what you want to say.
There's no belt size that can wrap around his ego. His ego came. No, I just. And to even say, like, to have the audacity is like it, and again, it just comes down to, I guess, personal opinion, but from a factual, consistent continuity standpoint, like it was not good. Like you may say like, oh yeah, the acting was good and all this and that, but like
some of the
like
visuals weren't bad.
What are we basing this off as? Like what I just hate the Mandalorian. And it's not even. It's just about from a. I'm gonna go drink a gallon of just. God, I don't get it. I don't understand how you can make that one to make that claim is.
No,
words are hard right now, man.
I fail to understand it myself. Sometimes it's really, really bizarre.
He's just because pompous, man. Like, you need to get a little bit of humble pie. Like, it'd be like us saying, like, I don't even know how to draw like an analogy. It's so stupid. Like, it's a religious experience. Like, one, like, are you religious? Or like, are you a man of faith? Like to make that is just disrespectful. Right. Well, I mean, that's disrespectful. But then again, it makes no sense. Like how? Like what are you even saying? It's a religious experience. Like what? Like okay. Like so, like I'm a Christian and I have no idea what he's saying. I don't understand like what you're saying. So you're watching a video. You watched an episode that you directed or like whatever, and you're claiming that like somebody slapped this guy, but I don't get it. It's just...
No, I mean, yeah, you said it, man. He definitely needs to be humbled, and that's the problem with a lot of this is that they get around too many yes men. Nobody's going, hey, maybe try this, or maybe that's not going to work out.
Who's crazy, right? Just real quick, who's crazy? Is it Filoni, Favreau, or Kennedy? Like, who holds the crown for just kookiness? Or is this like some type of weird cult thing where Kennedy's the leader, Favreau and, Filoni, Baloney, Ahsoka, whatever you want to call him, whatever his name is, and they're just like the fall. Like, is this just some weird cult that people just think like they worship the ground that they walk on? Like we did we read an article where it stated that he's the god of Star Wars or something like that. I remember saying it, and I think I read that article on the show, but it was like the god of Star Wars.
It's at times effectively become like these people are, as you put it, like cult leaders, and that's kind of what I've noticed over time is that. I'll go for it. As through media and stuff like that, they've worked their darndest and have effectively, to some degree, killed the Christian faith, Catholicism, stuff like that in the eyes of the people. They've degraded it to such astounding levels to where it's basically something that nobody takes serious. Not a lot of people take seriously. I'm not gonna say nobody, but not a lot of people take seriously anymore. It's no longer the foundation of this country, which it once was.
Right. No,
they've destroyed it and kicked it aside, much like they did with the EU. But the thing is that now a lot of people who may have found some peace and faith and stuff like that, they now find it through these Hollywood weirdos, through these celebrities and stuff like that. These are now their new gods.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's that cult. I mean, that's why you get we already just talked about it, how fervent and crazy these people are, where they'll come out of the woodworks to defend basically the holy icon of Lucasfilm or of Disney, and they can't do no wrong, and they're all this sort of stuff where it's.
Do you even think they know what they're saying though? Like to say it's in a religious experience, like I don't understand. Like I don't understand the reference, if you will, and I don't understand why you would say something like that. And again, like I get it, not everybody in this country's. Everybody has their different religion that they believe in. Everybody has their different faith. For me, it's Christianity. But I don't understand. Like that's very I don't know. It's a bold statement. It's not even a bold statement. It's just to say that
it is a very egotistical statement to make, because it's basically, again, like I said, it's replacing one god for another. And to them and to. If it's true, Filoni is like, he's like God to himself. He's like God, and he has created something so beautiful and magnificent. It has given him this, euphoric experience that yes, it's this again, religious experience.
He's a trash panda. He's a trash panda, is what he is. He steals stuff and he tries to create that's literally what he is. He's a trash panda. There's one god.
He's a trash panda.
He is. And I'm not trying to, I really not trying to. People might think, well, that's very disrespectful. Like, no, I'm not trying to intentionally disrespect him. I'm saying that he's a trash panda based off his actions. So
I will happily intentionally disrespect him because of what he's done.
Sorry, hold on. I just sneezed because I think I'm allergic to just the stupidity. No, he's a trash panda, and I base that off the fact that he goes and he steals. See?
Wow, you aren't kidding. You just start bringing this up, and you just can't help but unleash the sneezes.
Yeah, I apologize. I tried to mute it. God,
you did. You're good.
But this is what he is. Trash man, 100%. He just steals bits and pieces and tries to create something new. And literally, I literally just watched you go to the trash can and steal from it. But instead of it being a trash can, it's, obviously Star Wars and what Lucas created. But I wonder where Favreau is on this too, because I haven't heard anything from or seen anything from Favreau. The last thing I heard from Favreau is he politely, I'll say the word loosely, politely called out Deborah Chow for Kenobi. Like, it was kind of like a backhanded compliment. It was like, she's a. Oh yeah, I'll try to find the. It was I think it was an interview, but he was like, yeah, Deborah Chow's a brilliant director. She's come up with, she's done a lot of good stuff, but I think that this was prematurely released, and they're, so it was like he was. I'll have to pull up the article maybe next show, but yeah, it was very like, yeah, she's good, but this is not what I would have done. And if I had, he indirectly stated that if you read, we'll do the article, but it was like, if you read the article, he's basically saying that my interpretation of it is like, he's pretty much saying that if he had done it, it would have been different and it could have been better.
It definitely, from the production values and stuff like that, you definitely could see it needed more time to be worked on for sure, because good lord, that was horrendous.
I don't like
between between their set pieces and stuff like that, it looked like a B-level sci-fi movie type of thing, straight to TV release. I know it is a TV show, or effectively a TV show, but it's for the most part, they've at least had better production values and stuff with their other live action shows.
It's
you could see how downgraded it was. It made some of the old shows like Stargate SG-1 and stuff look better in comparison. Then I love those shows. I think they look better than Kenobi.
It's like I compare it to the Script Trooper. Obviously had how he described it, which a lot of people I think maybe found funny, but it's like soap opera level acting trying to versus an actual movie, if that makes sense. The acting is just the worst. You found somebody off the street and you gave them a piece of paper and said, these are your lines.
It definitely seemed like some of them were sleepwalking through this. It was just kind of all right, I'm here to deliver these lines, let's go. The characters weren't their characters at all.
No, I hate to admit it. I never say anything good about Marvel because just being DC, but I will say it's you can't argue that Marvel has not made some decent movies. I think you could probably say that, from the production and the money that they put into it. So if Favreau did have a hand in it, I would agree, as much as it pains me to say it, because, again, not Marvel fan, but I think it would be a lot... I'll say, I think it'd be better than what we got.
from a production standpoint, at least, and from CGI and all that kind of stuff. Because I think Favreau has the wherewithal and holds, I guess, more powerful cards than Chow, where he could probably go and fight for. Everyone wants to. I think it's just an excuse. Like, oh well, we didn't have a budget. Like, that's just a piss poor excuse. That's just a cop out. No different than saying, like Obi-Wan saying, you can't tell anybody because they'll know who we are. So you got to keep it a secret. Like, it's just a cheap cop out way of trying to cover up the mistake that you made. Like, to say like we didn't have a budget.
Right.
Like, well then if you didn't have the budget, then why did you produce it? And oh well, we only had X amount of time. Like, BS, man. Like, if to say we didn't have the budget and we didn't have the funds, like, this is freaking Disney, man. This is, even if it's Lucasfilm.
Yeah, they can put as much time and as much money as they want.
If you're gonna charge, you cannot tell me you charge $4, $4.50, $4.75 for a bottled water at Disneyland, and I get Disneyland separate. But I'm saying you're gonna have to try to tell me, like, well, we didn't have the money, we didn't have the budget. You're gonna have to try harder to convince me to the contrary, because these guys are good at making. You're charging $74.99 a year for a subscription to Disney Plus. You're charging $7.99, about to be $9.99 or $8.99.
Oh, are they increasing the?
Yeah, you got stores in Cal. You have licensed Disney stores in California. Like, you have money. You take the money you made off Avengers. Like, so like, shut up. Basically, what I want to say, just shut up. Like, you try harder. Come up with a better excuse. Come up with a better, defense than like, oh well, it was we didn't have the budget and we were rushed on time. Who rushed on time from who? By who? You're the ones who said that you were going to release it this time. Maybe you should have thought of a better timeline. But don't use that excuse. We're going off, I know, but I'm just saying, like, it just, it just pisses me off, and it just irritates me. So the point is, I think Favreau, like, if he had, if he was involved, I think maybe the potential of it being better from a production standpoint.
Maybe, but that's just kind of what if sort of territory.
Now we're getting into Star Wars theory. What if this happened?
It's hypothetical stuff, and that can only take.
You disagree?
So far.
Do you disagree? You being more like, you're a Marvel guy. Like, what's your opinion? Because I'm biased because I hate Marvel, just because I'm DC. So what's your opinion?
I have no love for.
Well, Spider. Like, you know what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, you're of that on that one. You're on that side of the fence.
I like Spider-Man and I like Batman. So, I don't know. See, this is the thing. It all comes down to who was calling the shots in these situations. If Kennedy was just wanting to kind of kick this out and get it onto the platform, or one of the Bobs, whoever's in charge now of Disney, wanted to get more content for their streaming platform, that was the path they chose. And even if Favreau was involved, it would have ended up the same way.
You think?
I mean, the powers to be, they'll make the calls that they deem they want. So if it's gonna go that way, now unless Favreau does actually have some kind of pull that we aren't really totally aware of.
Was he second in command though, under Kathleen?
He's
not.
As people have pointed out, he's just more kind of like he's for lack of a better term, this is like a mercenary type. He's just hired to do a job, and I don't think he has like any kind of permanent position that I've been made aware of. He's just kind of freelance.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's working on. He did the Mando project and stuff like that, and is still working on it. But I mean, I don't think he has as. It's not like where people are like, "Oh, Dave and Favreau are making power plays." No, I don't think he has that much commitment to all this, especially when they were doing Book of Boba Fett and he was off at other places doing things and not really overseeing the full project. I mean, look at that, for God's sakes. Jesus, and that was probably at worse or equal to the badness of Kenobi.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true, because it was like Tamora Morrison, or I always call him Tempura, but Tamora, he was like, I think he tried to reach out to Favreau about like, hey, like, I feel like my character is speaking too much. And
I want.
And he was in like Arizona
Boba
or something.
Fett to be more Boba Fett.
Yeah, and he was like in Scottsdale, Arizona, or something. He was doing some other place. He wasn't on set.
He was somewhere else, and
probably Salt Lake again with Filoni. Maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it turned out the same way.
I can maybe, yeah, that's a good point, but I don't know.
Because if it just comes down to the powers to be, they're gonna want it.
I just think Deborah's just inexperienced and just not a good director. Well, how is it because she's a girl? No, it's not because she's a girl. It's not because she's a woman. It's because I think she's just dog water producer and director. And I base that off of what I just watched. So go suck a fart.
Yeah, it's based off of what we were just presented with. So they were clearly, if they have an A game, that was not it.
There's like their, yeah, Zed.
All right, so now that I'm back in the Katarn face,
okay, yeah,
this is something I wanted to get into some positivity before we
please, because it's so much more negative.
This was something that completely slipped my attention, but I'm glad it just happened to pop up when I opened my my Google browser on my phone. But here it is: Star Wars Jedi Knight: Mysteries of the Sith Remastered. Which, to anyone that doesn't know, Mysteries of the Sith was a kind of, I'd want to say, expansion to the Jedi Knight game. And this is where they brought in Mara Jade, who is being trained by Kyle Katarn after the events of the Jedi Knight game.
Future ex-wife.
And it goes into that. I've only played the demo and a little bit of the full game. I need to get. This is a game I definitely need to play through. But I thought it was really cool that there is this remastered project that is currently being worked on. So on this site, Dark Side of Gaming, Star Wars Jedi Knight: Mysteries of the Sith Remastered 2.0 available for download. Back in May, we informed you about a must-have mod for Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 or Star Wars Jedi Knight Remastered. Oh, I'll just check a look at that too. And today, modder General Tantor released a new version that supports its expansion, Star Wars Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith. So I guess, yeah, expansion. Star Wars Mysteries of the Sith Remastered 2.0 features JKGX mod version 0.30 beta and Neural Upscale texture pack, Jedi Knight Neural Upscale texture pack and enhancement mod. So JKGX mod is generally improves performance in certain scenarios and brings numerous quality of life improvements. For instance, it has the HUD scaling and hardware accelerated window mode. Additionally, the mod adds support for 32-bit color, bloom, ambient, occlusion, and parallax mapping. And if you're looking into this, I definitely say make sure you're following the install. So they have the video on here, especially, and I have the in the description links to this article. Follow the installer, because once I did, it helped clear up some of my issues from when I was checking out the game really quick before we went live today. And then also you can find this mod.
Is this for like mobile, or is this actually like
no,
for
this is for a PC game?
Oh, okay.
So on ModDB is where you can also find it, the Mysteries of the Sith Remastered. And it, like you kind of see on the side here, it's got the updated character models. There's Katarn and there's Mara Jade. And I'll just kind of get to some screenshots really quick.
Is it out currently?
Yeah, it's available.
I'm gonna be downloading it.
So and for well, here you can see for sure. Like here's the updated remaster pack. You can see definitely the stormtroopers are looking a little less clunky versus what they are here in the second image on the right here, where they're looking a little boxy. But then on this side, you got the arm that's flying off. Some of the pixelated effects are still there, but that's not a big deal. Let me see if there's any other screenshots. Dang
so what you're saying is we're gonna start playing this after Republic Commando.
I don't know. I'm debating what I'm going to play next after Republic Commando, but I still need to get back to Republic Commando to even finish that. So
we've been having fun doing SOTOR.
Yeah, absolutely. But I checked out this. Like I said, I checked out this mod. Once I got things figured out. And
How complicated was it? Would you say?
No, it wasn't real. It wasn't super complicated. It just needed a few tweaks here and there for what and like I said, there's the video that details the installer and stuff like that. Once I was following that and getting certain little fixes in, then it was no problem.
Have you been able to play it at all, or was you just
once I got those tweaks in place that the modder in the video was walking through, then I got in. I just started playing it really quick, and it was looking a lot better. A lot of the textures, the models are definitely updated. I thought I'd gotten some screenshots. I just grabbed really quick of like just the intro. The person too also has an update video. That they are going to be trying to. So they also have a YouTube page. Here, let me just share that really quick. So over on YouTube, General Tantor, he has his channel. And this one is Mysteries of the Sith Cutscene Remastered Update. So he's even going to be working on updating the cutscenes. So as you see, here's the updated Mara model versus what the original does tend to look like. So go over and I'm going to, in fact, since make sure and subscribe to that and keep an eye on it so I can get updates when I need it. I'll definitely it's always cool to see these old games get these
100%.
remastered projects going.
I wish they would do that going forward with all of them that haven't.
That would be great. I would love that, but it's a lot of these are just little passion projects, and also for for what it comes down to, for some it's kind of like a portfolio. It kind of shows off, hey, look at what I've done.
Probably a lot of time too, like you said.
So here is one of the images that I got. Unfortunately, my button for it also hit the Force seeing or Force sense. So it turned it green.
Oh.
But you can see again, looks like I got the Briar pistol there. But you can definitely see the updates in the textures on the flooring alone. The character models look a lot better than what they did. Let me see. I just kind of look. Force seeing was activated. I thought I got a little closer in, but again, definitely some of the lighting effects on the blaster bolts that you see there, and I was just kind of catching the little troopers down there, fighting between themselves. So. Maybe I'll just kind of do that one day as a quick stream. Yeah. But for now, watch it. But for now, like once I'm done with Republic Commando, I don't know what I'm gonna go into.
How far are you? How much do you have left?
Well, I just got to that derelict Republic ship.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll have to get through that, and then I believe after that is Kashyyyk, and that's the end of the game. But
yeah,
those are some pretty long levels, as I recall. Too.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be a matter of getting through those and then being done with the game. I might play something completely un-Star Wars. I don't know.
Do a poll.
Decided yet.
Twitter poll. Let the people decide.
Oh boy. Anyway, yeah. So
unless they say Fortnite, then absolutely, I countermand that decision.
So otherwise, yeah, that's just definitely a cool little mod project that I say keep an eye out, because it's definitely looking pretty good, and I'll be again just interested to see what updates come, especially if he's gonna be redoing or updating the cinematic scenes.
You're more familiar in this realm of conversation, but how hard is it to actually mod a game? Remaster or mod, whatever.
It depends on the game itself, how open it is to being modded, and then also then it's just again the modders themselves, what they set up, because like it was, this person set up a whole had got together an installer for it, so that makes that part a little bit easier. But then they do give you usually like a full document file to go through to make sure you've done other little steps correctly. But really, it just depends on the game. Some games were made to be modded, and some games were basically they locked you out. So you
like
had to go
Jedi
through
Academy. Would that be a hard game?
Jedi Academy?
Yeah.
No, that's a very moddable game, and they have tons of mods between not only total conversion mods, but just also like for the single player, you can get custom, easily inserted custom character looks and stuff like that. You could basically run around as Jaden looking like Anakin.
That's insane.
Or Obi-Wan from Episode 3. You can do that sort of. They have the mods for that sort of stuff, where it's just usually pretty easily inserted. And like it was, there was a total conversion mod that I used to play the ever-loving hell out of back in the day. It was called Movie Battles 2, and good lord, I can't count how many hours I spent in that freaking game with my buddies and I, and just having a blast playing it. But yeah, I mean, it's a game that's very easily moddable.
Where do you go? Dumb question. Where do you go to get these mods? Is there a main mod?
There's a
main
few
website?
There's a few. There's a couple of sites. One in particular that like I just showed here was the moddb.com. That's one website that I can check out to see what mods I've been following, if they've been updated and stuff like that. And then one of the bigger resources right now, they have like their own installers and stuff like that, and they certainly became big thanks to games like Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, and stuff like that, where they just kind of got everything so compiled to it, is nexusmods.com. Another great place to go to for especially a lot of current games and stuff like that. They make it really easy. ModDB is certainly a place for a lot of the older games where people had already started projects there, and that's how they were working already. So that's where a lot of them are. And then if you use the Valve's Steam client, they for some games on there, they'll have the Steam Workshop, which will include the mods for the games, and they make it really easy to install them for the games that are available to be modded and stuff like that. So those are certainly some of the different resources that I follow and check out. And then like it is for some of the games out there that are maybe a little more difficult, they have their own websites and stuff like that. And then it's just a matter of hunting them down and trying to find what's out there.
This is a game that I'm going to try to download tonight. Steam has nothing. Like, you wouldn't get them off Steam. You just go to this website and download them. Then
wait.
The game you would just download from.
But you still have to purchase the game, yeah.
That's what I was asking. So like Steam, is it Steam you're telling me about?
Steam's one place. You can get it from GOG.com. They usually have it for very cheap as well. But the Steam client makes things so.
Is it easy?
It's very easy to use, and so many people are on there, especially if you got friends. Like I mean, I use both. I use GOG and Steam, but I mainly do.
What do you recommend?
I mainly keep Steam open, so I'd say go that route.
Well, as I become I try to become more knowledgeable about PC gaming, I think, Steam is what I'll probably be going after, or using, I should say.
Yeah.
Since I didn't use Steam when I originally downloaded SwordTour, and then I got yelled at by you and Mister and stuff.
Yelled at is such a harsh phrase. I don't
On,
teased you a little bit.
I was gonna say it's not national. Whatever, yeah. On open air, live air, got yelled at. Besmirched is a great
Like I
word
said,
to use.
just lightly teased. That's all.
I could feel the anger in your voice, so that's fine. But it's fine. Made for good content. So.
Hey, you're just projecting, man.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I was gonna say, shall we get into
This is
the episode?
It's a really great episode. Let me pull up my notes.
Episode 3, Replacements. This was an episode kind of shared between the Bad Batch and Crosshair.
Yeah. I got mine up. Oh yeah, you always we didn't break the tradition today. We're not going to start.
Fair enough. All right, so I kind of got so with Omega being uncomfortable in the ship, and I am writing this before seeing the whole episode. Let me guess, they get her a bed, bunk, or pillow, or something to ensure the princess is more comfortable. Which I kind of turned out to be right. Because all she's doing is like laying against one of the gonk droids that's in the ship. And then I said, maybe he should have let her give her food away. But Hunter is quick to chastise Wrecker about the situation, even though Omega chose to follow them in the end, especially after the last episode. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let her be stupid. Let her give away her food. And then later when she complains, just go, now what did we learn? Maybe you shouldn't just give away your food like that. Especially when we have to ration. But that's just me. I'm apparently a bastard. So. Going on. Seems the ship is a little broken down at the moment. Oops. Critical as they're thrown out of hyperspace and going to crash landing. Gonk droid is not having a good time. Wrecker really is an idiot and freaking out more than the little girl. Jesus. Then we get back to Crosshair. Oh no, they came across Crosshair's weaponry. Get a moment of sentimentality, even Wrecker saying it despite being shot by him. Now we cut back to Tarkin, who is back into the picture. Checking in on Crosshair, who is still under control of the chip. This new admiral we saw from the last episode, right? What was it, Rankin or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
He's delivering an update about the chain codes for their new empire. Seems they want Crosshair to train their new soldiers. And then we get shown their new soldiers, and I just couldn't help but bust out laughing. I was like, that's their new squad? And I used it for the thumbnail. And
yes.
I looked at them, and I'm just like, so basically what you've done... Here, let me get the... So basically what you've done here, and by looking at this, you've given, yes, some female-looking heads for two of them, but basically, these are male bodies.
Yeah.
Is what they've done.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just couldn't help but laugh my head off.
Well, listen, the argument would be like, what, women can't have no bodies? The Force is female.
The Stormtrooper armor wouldn't hide. You know what?
Listen, I'm just saying, this is like, you got to prepare yourself. You can't look like that? Why? That's sexist.
Yes. And I don't care. I embrace it because you know what? They have different body types.
Oh, I get it.
Their shoulders aren't as broad as ours.
I get it.
Women are. It's a little weird, but I mean that's why often women had shoulder padding and stuff to help with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought I just thought more. I just thought also it's just the ridiculous of they just basically copied and pasted bodies and they weren't worrying about it.
They're lazy.
These are probably the clones' bodies that they're using too. It wouldn't surprise me if those were the models from the clones. Then Tech and Echo seem tasked with further repairs to the ship without any backup, huh? They aren't exactly fighters. Surprised Hunter or Wrecker isn't watching their backs because, foreign planet, aliens and stuff aren't kind of keeping an eye on each other a little better. No. And even then, Tech and Echo weren't exactly watching each other's back very well. And then with the weird alien formation rocks and stuff like that, I was getting some alien vibes on this planet. Like I thought from some of those rock formations, a facehugger was going to suddenly jump out at them.
Right.
And then Rutro, big old claw marks on the ship. And then, of course, some creature is going to go and steal their replacement part because you have to add that extra bit of drama. Tech says says what the creature was, despite not giving everyone else the intel on what was on this planet, etc., as he seemed to know. Good lord. Sharing is caring, guy. Why aren't you keeping everyone up to date? Like, all right, this is the planet. This is what we're looking at. We're looking to face and stuff like that. Be prepared. Where is that? I mean, they're supposed to be like an elite force group. I know they quote think outside the box for their tactics or whatever, but
they're defective.
Clearly. So then Omega wants off the ship, it seems, especially to go and see the creature. Now we're getting a little insight to this new batch of recruits. I think it was kind of I don't know if that was when they're leaving on the ship or what. No, it was them just talking to each other after like a medical checkup, basically. And the one guy was very like, "Hey, they're feeding me, they're paying me,
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't quite for the Empire, but he's like, hey, I got a good gig here. I'm not going to screw it up. And it seems Tarkin wants to test these new recruits with the mission the Bad Batch failed to do with taking out Saw Gerrera on Onderon. Hunter describing hunting/tracking as his specific enhanced trait as Omega asks if she can learn it, which, is a maybe. It's not like something potentially couldn't, but I think you certainly need a certain keen eye and stuff like that to be able to do some of it. Not everybody can. I don't think everybody can track and hunt and stuff like that. I don't know. I said, "Ooh, seems this new recruit is getting a little uppity with the clones. This should be entertaining." He started mouthing off and thinking, "Oh, well, you guys are gonna be decommissioned anytime. Why are we even bothering following you?" So you wanna?
Oh yeah. Mine aren't as eloquent as yours, but that's fine. So I put chow time. Looks like the same rations Yoda stole from Luke on Dagobah.
Oh God, I think you're right.
Yeah, the little taquito that they got at the gas station.
I said, Wrecker, you shyster. You're not even going to offer her a place to sleep. Now you're taking her food, bastard. I was like, Echo, you didn't do a very good job. Not compromised, eh? You nailed the landing. Or I said, and nailed the landing. Not really. More inhibitor chip nonsense. Oh, joy. Speak of that look, Crosshair. Oh, Governor Tarkin in the GQ magazine model.
Elite Squad, not impressed. And then as I was watching this, I was like, would Tarkin really act like this? Like the real Tarkin, not the like Legend.
How do you mean?
EU. Well, just like how he was interacting with the clones and the what do you call them, the Kaminoans, and just his demeanor, and because there's this years ago I'd heard this argument that like somebody had said, the guy I was talking to is like, Tarkin never, like, he legit did not like the clones, like he was all for getting rid of the clones, and then watching this, like,
right.
So just curious if like he would actually act like this. Grandma.
I mean, the funny thing is like, I think he would have maybe needed to have been a reason why.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more developed, because I mean, we're certainly given a Tarkin that already seems kind of max level Tarkin.
Right.
Not
he's only
trying
Admiral.
to grow.
He's not even Grand Moff.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe needing to kind of grow more into this whole new Imperial role and stuff like that. But I guess he just seemed ready for it. So,
like, I don't know. This Tarkin does not, in my opinion, and people are gonna ask, well, what do you base that off of? The first movie. Just watching how he interact, it seems like a very different Tarkin. Like, to your point, like, he's just an admiral and he's acting like he's freaking Grand Moff, and this is literally, I mean, this is right after 66. So, yeah, and I put Elite Squad, not impressed. Would Tarkin really act like this? Question mark. And then I said, this was just me trying to be, I think, funny, silly, and just distracted myself from actually what I was watching. But I said, Simba just here stealing capacitors, or out here just stealing capacitors. Wrecker wrecked his head. Gasp! Is it the inhibitor chip? Question mark. And yes, the old Ordo Moondragon. I'll just stop there because I don't know if I jumped ahead of you or not.
I don't think so. But so we have the attack on the little rebel group begins quickly, as it seems Saw Gerrera in around currently. And it's back to Hunter and Omega, found their missing ship part. Now a little fight begins with the Moondragon, but Hunter is seemingly taken out quick. Omega is now going to go and get the part because, of course, had to find a way to take out the main person to do the hunting. And then they cut back then to the insurgents, who are quickly getting eliminated and almost take off before Crosshair takes out the driver, or pilot, whatever. Seems even these new recruits won't go full on with the civilian killing, but every loose end is a potential future insurgent. So, hey, you gotta, it's a dirty business, but so Crosshair takes out the main soldier that was being insubordinate, as he makes it clear why he was the one put in charge. Which the whole situation I just kind of found funny, especially the one character that was being insubordinate over the others who seemed to go right gung ho into this after I mean, it's 4-on-1, after he takes out the one guy. Anyway, so Crosshair tells the rest to finish the mission, and the rest of the troops comply. Omega going crawling around to find the part and thinks she got lucky till the Moondragon shows up. Hunter finally wakes up just as she's going to be attacked and starts shouting out for her. Omega gives the weird Moondragon what it wants in food via her flashlight. And then Omega accomplished what Hunter couldn't. Again, of course. Crosshair reports in quickly. Very brief. Because, again, they just kind of chopped it up to casualty of the mission. And not he was being insubordinate. And I had to kill him.
Right.
This kind of avoids that one altogether, but all right.
Decided to shoot him in the chest and not the head.
The one guy was just like, well, that'll happen on some of these missions. So you'll lose a soldier. Tarkin sees the bit of potential with the clones for now as commanders, being with the inhibitor chip, till conscripted soldiers are able to take their place. The Kaminoan scientists are looking to try and make sure they still have a future with this empire, as the Jango Fett material apparently begins to degrade, and they are having other ways to make sure to keep making valuable soldiers and to keep themselves certainly in business. Because god dang, that clone war was very lucrative for them. Crosshair seems to even be missing his brothers as he looks around their quarters, seeing the remnants of the Bad Batch. Seems there is a brain between Wrecker's noggin, and made a little space for Omega to have. So I was sort of close with my beginning predictions, and they set up a little homey spot for her to have on the ship specifically. Well, they are wherever, and that was basically it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have that many notes, but yeah, let's see here. Try to knock out mine. So I said Omega thinking she's part of the boys, girls. What do you call them? Her? Don't know. Not a fan of the Republic, eh? Me neither. The GQ is more posh than Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Another touching moment with the greatest motivational speech from Omega. I was like, please get him in your crosshair and take him out. Theatricality and deception, powerful agents to the uninitiated. That's when he threw the gas grenade or smoke grenade. I was like, see it now, go get it. It's really getting away, really. Can't wait to see how her weapons training went. Yes, the flamethrower will do much damage against the doors. Nice shot. I was like, and this is when when the rebels were coming out. I said, I can hear Jar Jar's voice. My give up. It's like, and then when Crosshair shoots him, it's a good man, Crosshair. And I just want to talk about these troopers real quick. I said I hate this rip-off Dark Forces troopers. Like, I don't like.
Right.
Am I wrong, or do these look like a terrible rip-off the troopers in Dark Forces?
Wait, say that again.
Like these. Okay, so their suits in this one. Do they not have some resemblance to the ones?
No, they're just kind of like Phase 3 clone trooper armor painted black.
All right. Well, I like Dark Forces, so. Where am I at? I was like, are these caves or sewage pipes? When she's following the old Ordo Moon Dragon. And I said,
it's certainly questionable.
Yeah, I said, do they not teach you how to pull the trigger in the Grand Army of the Republic? Oh, look, Fluffy just wants to play. Go fetch Fluffy. Good thing she didn't have to use it. Is Tarkin for or against the clones?
Well, he certainly at least seemed to find a use for them, at least for now. So it's not called we're going to completely get rid of them. We'll still get use out of them for now.
Yeah. The Kaminoans need to secure a deal with the new Empire, air quotations. Crosshair looks conflicted a wee bit.
Yeah, a wee bit.
I was like, oh, great grandmother spatula. She has a room now. She's a full-fledged clone now. And then I said, excuse me while I go puke. That's the end of my notes.
Yep.
So I just want to say that this was just a worthless episode that did nothing to advance the story, in my opinion. Just literally 29 minutes.
No, they did.
Am I wrong, do you think?
On Crosshair's side, because it was giving further of what was going on with what Tarkin wants for the clones. He saw potential in them. And it's, again, the Kaminoans kind of acting in their own self-interest and being like, hey, we kind of still need to protect our own hides here. So it was kind of giving that. The Bad Batch side was definitely just kind of more of just them kind of bunking around and kind of giving Omega extra. I hate to say moments to shine, but I guess that's kind of what was going on. Otherwise, it was mainly like the whole Crosshair stuff.
Yeah,
that was kind of the kind of what was giving us a little more of what was going on with this whole new empire and who's pulling the strings, and definitely Tarkin's running this part of the show. But that was kind of the main. It seemed like that was their main focus for the story versus the other bit, which was just kind of more fluffing around.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's again showing the ruthlessness of the Empire and stuff like that, and all that stuff. Still making them be the bad guys in every way possible instead of maybe. God, I've gone back and forth on this so much. Some nuance would be good to have the good boy Imperials and stuff, which, for the most part, I think they were. But again, we got to have the evil T bad guys, which again is fun. But this was just kind of like, all right, whatever.
How'd you rate it?
Could have done without the little side story if maybe they just completely focused it on what Tarkin was trying to accomplish with the clones and the whole inhibitor chips and using them as basically the command leaders and everything. Could have been a little bit more of an interesting episode. Because, like I said, it just kind of felt like more of the same for the Bad Batch side. More of this whole, them coming to terms with them adjusting to having Omega around and stuff like that.
I was talking to somebody at work yesterday when I made the call. I was like, what did I say to him? I was like, I'm so excited because I have to watch Bad Batch episode 3, and he's like, oh god, I haven't seen it. I was like, well, you're not missing much. And I was like, have you heard anything about it? He's like, a little bit. I was like, do you know like one of the main characters? And he's like, yeah, she's like she's supposed to be a clone of Boba. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I said, I've been trying to wrap my. I was like, I don't understand. I've been trying to wrap my brain around it. And he was like, oh, trying to understand how like she's a girl that's a clone of Boba. And I was like, yeah, who's a man. And it's just, yeah. That's I think my biggest frustration is just trying to figure out this. Like, I haven't even been, like, yes, I've been concerned about just the story, but that's my main thing. I was like, again, 2 + 2 = Pennsylvania. Just, like, if she's a clone, like, what is she a clone of? Because if you're saying that she's a clone of Boba's
and then at the same time, she's a clone of Jango, but at the same time,
Jango. I'm sorry, not Boba. Jango.
The Jango genetic material or whatever is degrading. So what was she made of? Was she made prior to the degradation of the material, and how much
someone's gonna hear what you just said, and they're gonna say, "Oh, so she's the form." I don't even know how to put it.
How much did they have to make up for, and was it intended to be?
Yeah, they're gonna say because she's degrading.
Or did they fill in the gaps, and that's just how it came
Listen,
out?
I'm not a geneticist. I don't know how to clone, but a clone from a male should be a male.
Still have to follow. Yeah.
Yes, a clone of a male is a male.
You can't call her a clone when she's not a clone of who she's supposed to be.
Yeah, you don't.
This is again kind of like how Plagueis and Sidious learned. You can't just play Sith God. You will get something. The Force will kick you back in the testicles. In their case, via Anakin.
Bro,
What?
this is what they're gonna do.
What?
They're gonna use the War of Worlds time machine to come back and somehow turn Django into a female. So therefore, Omega is a true clone of Django or Jenga. They're gonna drop the O and turn it into an A. Jenga Fett, the new female Django. Dude, you're quiet. Did my internet just like blow up,
If
or
you can, if
did I just break? Did I break your mind right now? I think I broke fractured. Or is I'm currently checking my internet status right now.
If my camera was on, my God.
What did you like? Is your mind blown? Please, it's a kid's show,
you basically gave them an idea, but at the same time, it would not surprise me if that turns out to eventually be
Listen,
their
they
plan.
don't know who.
But
We're not.
I haven't seen this whole first season. I don't know what gets
Bro.
revealed or doesn't get revealed. I don't know. This is my first time experiencing it.
Listen,
yeah,
we
I
have
don't know.
not hit 10,000 subscribers, and we're not on the whitelist. But this is going to happen. It makes sense now. It makes sense that we read the article about the time machine. They, it's like they knew, like, oh, we may have just screwed up. She's supposed to be a clone of Django, but Django is actually a guy. But now, like, we can't say that she was a clone of Django because he's a guy. But we live in a world to where, like, we gotta fix this. So how do we fix it? We can't retcon our own stuff. We can't contradict ourselves. Time machine. Time warp. The Purgle.
Yeah.
The Purgle is going to take them into the past to a different multiverse. In another multiverse, Django was a Jenga. Gasp.
You are going too far. Stop. Stop what you are doing now. You are going too far.
And in that multiverse, J Hitman takes on the name as Fractured Man 187. That's how they do it.
Oh.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No,
Tell me.
no.
The Purgle somehow learn how to hyperspace into the past. They're the ones that came up with hyperspace. They go so fast that it alters time, and that's how they do it. They get rid of the rule of two.
So like Superman flying around the planet to turn back time.
No, it's like
hyperspace.
It's the Flash. It's a Flashpoint. It's like Flashpoint.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's better. Yeah.
The Purgle are the
so fast.
Barry Allen.
They discovered the
Star
Speed
Wars.
Force and
literally, yeah,
go back
it's a Speed Force. Marvel can't come up with anything good, so they have to steal from DC the Speed Force. Bro, you think I'm crazy?
They steal
right now.
from each other, but yeah.
Well, touche, they do, and they have. But you think I'm crazy? Like, what if the? I mean, listen. We still have enough time, right? So the Purgle they were in Rebels. Ahsoka is supposed to be a continuation of Rebels. They've already said this is supposed to be a multiverse, right? So what if the Purgle are the key components or factors in the time travel or the alteration of the multiverse, and then in another multiverse, Django is now a Jenga, and Omega is a direct clone of Jenga. Jenga A, Omega A. Female. And then they kick Boba and Django to the little Legends in EU box. It's a different multiverse but that doesn't matter anymore because it's the same multiverse that Legends is in and the EU is in. But instead of saying multiverse, it's expanded universe. You have the multiverse. That's another thing. They're going to create multiverse. They have expanded universe, and now they have the You think I'm crazy right now? I want this on record, and I want this recorded.
With the multiverse thing, is that then they're gonna be pulling in other characters.
I want this recorded, and I want this recorded on the live feed. This is what's gonna happen. Connect the dots. Rebels, Ahsoka after Rebels, Purgle created hyperspace. They're gonna learn how to time travel, and they're gonna create another multiverse. Some black hole's gonna into another multiverse. In this multiverse, where endless possibilities could happen. Obi-Wan is now a robot, non-binary robot. Qui-Gon never existed.
Jesus.
Obi-Wan's, and this is gonna be the same. This is the same multiverse where Shredder taught Bane. Endless possibilities.
The sad thing is, I wish I could say you're
Bro,
wrong,
I could go work for Disney, dude, with these crazy mushroom induced ideas. Dude, I'm telling you, how else would you fix this without time travel? You literally say that she is a clone of Jango Fett, and anybody who is sane knows that Jango is a male. Based off characteristics.
The only thing
right?
I could...
So how can she be a clone of Jango when she is a female? And then people
the only thing I could say is that they were trying out a new style of cloning, which included maybe fertilized egg or something like that from a female, and that's how they got the Omega. It's introducing that sort of weird, she's the byproduct of them testing a new form of cloning to get
we'd have
different variants.
To better understand this or explain this,
I don't know.
We would have to learn the process of cloning, because that to me doesn't make sense. He's a guy, so therefore, if you clone a guy,
no, it's not cloning anymore. But it's again.
But they said that she's a clone. They said that she is a direct clone. She is the last clone from Jango.
Well,
you can't.
I don't know what to tell you.
You can't be a guy and go to bed and wake up as a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You can maybe act like one, but you're not one.
Well put. I like that. Yeah. No, I've got no real answers.
I'm telling you, this multiverse is going to be their scapegoat. Everything. And that's how they're gonna retcon stuff. It's because it's a multiverse, so it's a different multiverse, so therefore they can get away with retconning, because well, no, we haven't retconned, it's just in another multiverse. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're gonna do it. That's how they're doing it. That's how they.
If I was a drinker, I'd be drinking right now.
I'm telling you, man. And the 501st, that's not a thing.
How dare you?
So no, it's not. It's not a thing anymore. It's gonna be the 105.
105.
It's a multiverse. Everything's just backwards. Jango, Jenga, Omega, Omega, Bane, Revan. It's all gonna, yeah. Kyle Katarn, he wasn't a thing. He was always Cassian Andor. It was never Kyle. What are you talking about? It's never Kyle Katarn.
All right, now you're just trying to piss me off.
No, I'm just saying, that's literally who's this Kyle Katarn guy? This is literally. Have you ever seen Face Off?
I have not.
Oh,
I know of it though.
Yes.
I just haven't watched it fully.
It's literally Face Off. You're taking your face off. To quote John Travolta. Great movie. If you've not seen it, it's one of the.
I've heard good things about it. It's just a really over the top kind of crazy movie. I'll have to watch it one of these days. I'll have to. It's on my list.
I'm getting it.
There's a lot of stuff I have to watch. Last thing I was going through was I was still going through some of the old Bond movies, and I'd got through all of Connery. all of his movies. And then, I think we just watched the first. I'm forgetting his name.
Roger Moore, Sean Connery.
Roger Moore, thank you.
Roger Moore. Yeah, Roger Moore.
Yeah, we of course got through. That Lazenby was the kind of guy in between. Yeah. So, yeah, no, there's a bunch of movies on my list I got to get through.
I can't stop. Like, I broke my brain. I'm still thinking about, like, what if they do this? They're like, oh my goodness, we don't have to pay anybody. Like Fractured and J-Head, they came up with a scapegoat for us. We write this down.
They gave us everything.
They gave us everything. We didn't even need. Yeah, literally. And listen, that would be not their only play, but I mean, I don't know how else they would fix it, and I don't know how else I don't know how else they could retcon the original trilogy. Unless they did something like this. Why bring it up? Why say a multiverse? Why? Never in the history of not neverdom, never in the history of not neverdom have they come up with a multiverse. Like there's never been a multiverse in Star Wars. Like there's the expanded universe, which is a just continuation, but there's never been a multiverse.
No, and the only thing that they've done is they've only done like what if stories, but those have been self-contained.
Bro, Star Wars series probably having a heyday with this. He's like, oh my gosh, this is what I've wanted my whole life.
Oh,
multiverse, a universe of endless possibilities. I'm just saying, like how, like if they go this route, like they can literally do anything. If they can figure out how to explain time travel, if you will, or altering time without bringing Doctor Strange into the Star Wars universe. Like they can do anything. They've already said the Purgle or the space whales are the first creatures, sentient beings that created or learned hyperspace.
Right.
Come up with something as ludicrous as that. Like how much more ludicrous is it to say like, yeah, they created hyperspace and they also found out how to time travel. They're gonna find that through some type of holocron. They're gonna find Bane's holocron. They're going to say that Bane had a holocron that he learned from Revan, and Revan learned it from, up the line, learn about space travel. Or time travel, if you will.
Oh, God. It just keeps getting worse and worse.
I'm just saying, like, I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm just saying, how else would you do it?
No, like, literally, nothing.
Anything they do now can be okay in their mind because time travel. They did it with Marvel, with Doctor Strange, anything that I get they maybe wrote it like that, but if anything happened, Doctor Strange is there with, what stone did he have? The Reality Stone? Was it the Reality Stone? Time Stone? Whatever stone he had? Rolling Stone? Whatever.
One of those stones?
Yeah, one of those stones, and he could erase, go back, you do anything you wanted.
That's what we were saying earlier. It gives them their chance to write themselves out of whatever stupid corners they've gotten.
They're eventually going to have the last laugh when they say, "Oh, J Hitman Fractured. Let us explain to you why Omega is technically a clone of Django, because in this universe, Django was a female and her name was Jenga, who liked to play Jenga in her front yard on Coruscant." I just broke my mind. I wish I had a gavel. Mic drop. I'm gonna hit my mic. Boom, mic drop. It's an expensive mic. I'm not gonna do it. I've had enough internet for the day. I've had enough theories for the day. Am I wrong?
God,
wrong.
Yeah,
just tell me I'm wrong. That's it. Just say you're wrong.
I don't want to make it any worse than it already is.
Do you see any flaws with it? Like some of the stuff I was trying to be funny, but that thought came into my mind.
Well, that's what we were, like I said, again, that's what we were talking about earlier, is that it just opens up these possibilities for them to insert whatever stupid shit.
Oh yeah, Leia never knew Obi-Wan. You're crazy. In this universe, in this multiverse, she did. But in this one, which is the same
one as original trilogy. She never did, or she did, or however you want to play it.
That's how they're gonna do their new trilogy.
I'm telling you.
That's how they're gonna. That's gonna be their excuse. It's not. Oh God! It's basically like Star Trek. Although, like what they said, it was a new alternate universe or timeline, whatever. This is what they're doing. This is how they're gonna make their new, or they're gonna redo the original trilogy. They're gonna say it's their own new timeline. It's not the same. You don't have to worry. Oh my God.
That's how they're going to do it. Like I'm telling you. In that way, they're not in breach of any contract. It doesn't fall with George's timeline. This isn't part of George's timeline. This isn't part of George's universe. This is the multiverse. Leia went to some rodeo with Han on,
on the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Yeah, on the Galactic Star Cruiser, and they rounded it. They were part of the rodeo. They were, guest speakers there, talking to all the people that died on Yavin, and they were able to actually wrangle up a Purgle, and the Purgle sneezed and then farted, and then they went back in time to this multiverse where everything now changed. Han didn't know. Or Leia never knew Han, and Leia then knew Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan saved her as a kid, and then she, whatever. That's how it's gonna, yeah. May not be as elaborate as, a Purgle farting and causing a rift in time, but that's how they're gonna get away with it. It's
certainly up there.
I quit if that's the thing, because that's what's so crazy and frustrating about not frustrating, but that's it's kind of frustrating about the Marvel movies, because there's now all these different basically you got one person who is in control of this time stone, reality stone, rolling stone, whatever, and can change anything based off that.
Yeah. Well, you made me sad now.
Who says you can't mess with time? Is there you can't go back in time and
they opened up that gate basically literally with world between worlds, and that's
or somehow through the fact that Rip Hunter's trying to figure out where Vandal Savage is, he now somehow meets somebody in Star Wars, and now they travel around in the ship. Time travel in a ship. Rip Hunter's the reason why this is going to happen. It just seems very, and we'll end it on this, it just seems very very coincidental that this article, Ahsoka, is supposed to follow Rebels, and then, anything about Rebels and the Purgle, whatever, learning time. And then learning the hyperspace, and then they're talking about Mandoverse. That could be turn into a multiverse. It's like I wouldn't put it past them, and now it makes sense. They can do anything, literally.
Basically,
Vader has mommy issues, and that's why he cowers to Reva.
Yeah.
Which would go hand in hand, no pun intended, why he cowered to Padme's handmaiden. In that comic that you brought up.
That would certainly help explain a lot for them, wouldn't it?
When have you ever seen Vader? I am just saying. That's not a sexist comment. I'm just saying. When have you seen Vader cower to anybody? Don't worry, I'll wait. Well, with the exception of Boba, but that was that was I think an anomaly, one-off, and that was not that he was physically cowering, but he knew Boba's somebody that should be not messed with.
Right.
So I can sleep tonight. Just tell me, am I crazy or am I not crazy?
I wish I could say you were. I really do.
Oh, now I'm sad. Like somebody just peed in my Cheerios and is forcing me to eat it because in another universe I'm still gonna have to eat it.
Basically. Yeah.
Sad. I'm sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sad.
Well, on a cheerier note, I think that'll be doing it for tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah. Can't talk anymore about multiverse.
Catch us tomorrow, 5:30 on our Twitch channels.
It should be 5:30 because no updates have come out again that I know of.
We should be in the clear. We should be all good. But just in case, open up your launcher and just make sure you're all good to go.
Because apparently, according to Fractured, it doesn't automatically update like a phone would.
No, it's a much different beast. So yeah, we should be good, but just double check.
Definitely be the three, myself, you, Mr. Insect, myself. Don't know if Davi also will be joining or not. Probably not.
I don't know. I'll let him know that we're still going tomorrow to do it.
I hope he does because I really want to do the Bounty Hunter story.
You want to see it?
I do.
Yeah. So hopefully if he is and has, he's gotten his Bounty Hunter off of Hutta, and we can start. The Great Hunt stuff's a little more entertaining.
I heard Hutta's just not a great planet to go to.
It's kind of a shithole. But. And again, it'll be curious to see how he plays it. But otherwise, even then, we've been having fun.
I've been having a blast. Yeah.
We got you into doing the Revenant side quest on German Koss, which is always entertaining. Going through that.
Oh yeah.
And especially once we're gonna be going into Grathan's estate, there's a really great scene that I think you might enjoy.
Oh, I was gonna say, where are we going tomorrow? Like, are we still on? We're at Drummond Koss?
At the wall on Drummond Koss. We're gonna be breaking into Grathan's estate, and you're gonna have a pretty fun little scene for the Sith Warrior.
Oh, I'm so excited! The question is, who do I get to kill?
Well. Depending, I'm not going to tell you because I'm just going to let you play it out just to see what happens, and I'll tell you your choices afterwards.
No, it's probably safe that if I can torture somebody or kill somebody, that's probably what I'm going to do.
But yeah, so we'll be definitely getting into Grathan's estate if you're familiar with Star Wars: The Old Republic. And the Empire side, because of course we're going to be playing on the Empire side first.
Or you know.
Yeah. I'm playing the Imperial Agent. My brother's playing the Inquisitor. So we've got certainly, and as you're hearing, Hitman's playing the Sith Warrior. So we've got those bases all covered. We just are waiting to see if Daviasa will be joining us as his bounty hunter. Then we'll have all four classes covered for the Empire side for seeing the storyline. Certainly. So yeah, 5:30 p.m. GMT tomorrow on our Twitch channels, JHitman187 and the Fractured Filter over there on Twitch. Check it out. It'll be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. It's been very entertaining seeing your decisions and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Play out. So for sure,
as much red as I can get. They're really stingy though with the dark side points. So very stingy.
Yeah, they changed it up a little bit. It's gone through some changes with how you earn the dark side points. I
put all this time and effort in for you just to give me 200 dark side points, like jipping me, making me work for it.
Basically.
But it'll be a fun time, yeah.
We'll also kind of help you out with your toolbar and stuff like that to help it, so you have more skills available to pick.
And I need to get a damn Eopie, man. I'm tired of running, walking. It's annoying.
Well, we certainly have some extra little stuff to hand off to you tomorrow.
It's just funny because sometimes like I'm running like Punjabi slave, and then like Fracture just hits a button and he's got gets a speeder. He's got like a speeder
Yeah,
I've been in the game for a long freaking time. There's a lot
he
of
was
stuff I have
literally
saved.
he was literally riding an Ewok. I kid you not. Last Sunday, check it out
Ewok?
on the stream. Yeah, you're riding an Ewok or something. Was it not an Ewok?
I was
Tauntaun? Maybe it was a Tauntaun. Was it a Tauntaun?
Tauntaun, yeah.
I thought it was an Ewok. Tauntaun.
Pretty sure it's the Tauntaun.
Hell,
I have
probably
other-
more. He's
I
gonna
have
probably
other
ride Chewbacca. He's gonna be riding a Wookiee probably.
That
He
would
got
be
his-
hilarious.
He got a life.
That would be
He
hilarious.
saved a Wookiee. And he's got a a life debt. So now he gets to ride the Wookiee, climb up this wall. If you have a, do you have? Just tell it. Do you have a Wookiee? Tell the people. Do you have a Wookiee?
Not on this character. You do get a Wookiee companion for the smuggler character, but otherwise, no. I do not have a Wookiee.
More talking about a
Been my
transport
Wookiee.
vehicle, but yeah, okay.
Oh no, yeah, no. There's no Wookiee transport.
That'd be funny. And if anybody would have one, it would be
That
you.
would be.
So, yeah, catch us
All
tomorrow.
right.
Super excited. 5:30. Get pumped. So excited.
Catch y'all later. Good night.